All right. We should be rolling. Hello. Sorry, I'm kind of sick. Been a little sickly this week. If I sound a little congested, I apologize. I've been seeing a bunch of street food videos on Instagram and YouTube and stuff like that. And I know it's no new topic, and I know you're probably aware of it yourself. I thought I would try to take an unbiased opinion and try to go on a little world tour, if you will, trying to find the nastiest street food in the world. I mainly pick a few places that are known for street food. I'm not going state to state, country to country, you know what I mean? I'm only looking at the big boys right now. So we got Korean, Chinese, Vietnamese, New York. Yeah, we got a little bit of variety going. And again, what made me try to make this video, or what made me first think about it, is for the most part, most of these videos are from India. And again, I'm trying to take an unbiased opinion at this. That's why I've searched around trying to find the worst examples. Yeah, for the most part online, every example you can find, even if you're trying to type in just like nasty street food, for the most part, almost every video is somewhere in India. So that's why I'm really trying to take a look around the world, see what I can really find, you know. I guess we'll just get right into it. Let's start looking at a few examples. Okay, first up, we got angry man selling famous club karaoke. Yeah, I've seen this guy quite a few times around Instagram and shorts. Yeah, he's just whipping this stew together. And this one may not seem inherently disgusting, but when you consider that even down to the little things of plating and grabbing everything with your hands, it's like you're throwing shit everywhere. You think he'd be a little happier while he's selling this food too. And it's extra crazy too because you have these people selling dog in China and shit, and even they have the gall to wear like masks and gloves, you know what I mean? And they're selling Air Bud down at the flea market, you know what I mean? And even they have the sanity to put on some gloves, you know? Oh yeah, I've seen this guy around a lot. He has one arm and he's smashing like dumplings or something. His hairy ass armpits. And again, you can be like, Brandon, he's got one arm, bro. He's trying to make it work. What do you expect him to do? It's like, fucking anything but this. I will pay him to not cook my food. That means you don't cook. You can't tell me that there isn't something better he can do for money. Like, besides squishing empanadas in his fucking armpit. It's disgusting. Another guy just drenching oil with his hands, touching absolutely everything, from wet to dry. There's gonna be cross-contamination everywhere. But it's not even the fact that it's cross-contaminating. It's like, you go to grab basil, there's gonna be chunks of curry powder in it or something. It's like, that's not what you want. I got this dude serenading this big old tub of lard in this bucket. And this video really gives you the vibe too of like, they just see it as like construction almost. It's like you just got to get the fucking job done and get the product out there. It doesn't fucking matter, you know what I mean? Like no care to standards, sanitary standards, any type of consistency, any type of presentation. And again, not to mention it's fucking disgusting. That's just my whole point. It's not even like they're doing all these things and still being efficient, still putting out a decent product at the end of the day. Like, this is the most dog shit looking food made by poo-poo hands selling it to their friends and family. It's like, how? Why are you, like, it's a meme. You wouldn't feed your dog that. Like, how do you sanely hand that to somebody and go, pay me now? The gall. Oh, we got the most healthy deli street food. Big old pile of shit. And if you want to argue poor conditions, poor anything, poor people, poor standards, knowledge, education, any of this shit, they're wasting so much food by slinging it everywhere, cross-contaminating everything, throwing it in bowls. That's why their stations look like a fucking battle zone at the end of the day. All that could have been on somebody's plate, sold for a few extra bucks. You can't tell me that this is efficient and makes any type of sense in any type of way. Because it doesn't. And aren't these the places that need food the most? And they're wasting it and making it look like absolute dog shit. Like, it's really discouraging. It's like, bro. Here's a good example of just rats running rampant in this whole kitchen operation. It's not even a kitchen. It's like somebody's living room with just pots and pans everywhere. It gets to the point where it's like, yeah, I get some of these are staged. Some of these might be clickbait. There's too many examples for me to believe that this isn't a real thing. And when you look up nasty examples, or when you look up why is street food so disgusting? I'm not the only one who thinks this. Again, you've seen clips yourself of just disgusting street food and it's made you want to throw up. There's whole Reddit posts about how you shouldn't eat in India. People shit, urinate right behind the stall. The cauliflower is grown using septic waste. Don't consume the ice because it's just condensation from who knows where. any fried food, you know, the oil is never changed. Yeah, they'd use everything with their hands. They reuse cups and plates like it's a fucking Denny's, you know what I mean? It doesn't make sense when you're on a street corner. Even if the food was prepared correctly, there's no telling where they got the food from or who they got the food from. Like, assume they cook it to perfection. Like, you're probably still gonna get sick. It's so disrespectful to yourself and the community that you live in to serve this food, because it's like you could kill somebody. You can literally kill somebody. And it's funny too, when you do look up why is some street food so nasty, I found multiple articles, you know, just disregarding safety and hygiene, as the level of hygiene is not as par as the first world standards. Unhygienic street food caters to the poor, exists everywhere. It doesn't make it right. There's murders every year. It doesn't make it right. Like, that logic makes no sense. It's just funny to write all this off as just like, oh, well, that's just how it is. You know, well, that's how some people are. You know, it's for poor people. Who cares? You know, it's like, what a fucking shitty way of thinking. You know what I mean? I found another article, too, that was really funny because it talks about how defends these types of environments by saying, the sweat, dust, and smoke in our street food adds its own taste. Long before IKEA arrived, street vendors had invented modular, multi-purpose item, the cloth, usually red in color, moist but not dripping wet. So this guy's basically saying, whoa, you know, sorry we're not eating off granite here, but we have this thing called a towel, and you can I can wipe my ass and then wipe the counter, guy. Dummy. I'm like, you fucking people are... What a fucking ignorant thing to say. It is used for wiping vessels, hands, in the cart. Yeah, you're automatically proving how fucking disgusting you are. You're not supposed to wipe your hands with the shit you're wiping the fucking counter with. But I was okay with the hygiene standards, and I assume the vendors are really trying to make a living. It's like... just because you need money doesn't mean you should be selling tainted food to the public. Like, it's not an excuse to say these things. They're trying to make a living. It's like, I'm trying to make a living. And in the same article, food has been getting a bad rap on social media. Chinese influencers mark our hygiene. American streamers are as horrified as we were when the U.S. bombed Iraq. Like, way to prove that you're just being racist and just trying to defend your culture at any means necessary. It's like, it's so funny. Just say you took an L. Say your food's nasty and move on with your day. We were just as horrified as when the U.S. bombed Iraq. Like, really? Really? By saying your disgusting street food that you yourself acknowledged you like the taste of smoke and shit in your food? And he goes on to say, by abusing those who bring up hygiene in our street food, and there's a reason why we love street food. It's the rebellion against the ancient eating traditions. It's cheap, faster than fast food, and ubiquitous. But most importantly, our parents asked us to stay away from it, so we had to have it. It's like, bro, you get told in Oklahoma to not play on fucking oil rigs growing up. You think there's go play on oil rig people just because, well, I had fun. I thought it was a good time. People are too strict these days. I did it just fine. Yeah, like there's a fried rat in the streets of New York, apparently. Like, I'm sure that's bait. I did find a few articles and like news stories about filthy food carts in New York or dirty food vendors, and it doesn't hold a ribbon to what you see these Indian street food carts. It might be a guy like wiping his leg, wiping his face, and then going back and cooking.
Went to talk to him about it. He claimed he keeps his hands clean. You were sitting right over here on the bench with your shoes off, picking your toes. Then you came over and served food to somebody without washing your hands.
No. So I touched something, then I cleaned my hand.
He also showed us gloves, but when we watched him on 3 different days, he never wore them.
And people are outraged, you know, they're on the fucking news being shamed for this. And meanwhile, you got people on TikTok literally mashing shit with their fucking feet and, you know, getting 10,000 views. And people defending them in the comments. Like, no. They can't even help themselves from putting their fucking hands in this deep frying oil. Like, at what point do you just say, hey, let me not touch the goddamn food for once? Jesus Christ. And, bro, you know homie's hurt. Look at him throw that shit back real quick. He's like, ow, yeah. This shit looks like a giant summer camp. They're cooking like some type of stew. They're in this giant thing full of vegetables, like sloshing, turning, churning. It looks like a sports team's out here trying to cook something. Pouring this into 55-gallon drums. Who knows what has been in those? That's just terrifying. Again, and then it ends with them feeding it to the women and children. It's like, how dare you? And it's extra funny, too, because when you do see an Indian guy eating food that isn't fucking tainted in the streets, he ends up looking something like this.
She's soft as powder, I get hot around her.
You wanna know why he's vibing so hard? Because there's not dog shit in his food right now. He's like, finally, some decent fucking food.
Finally, some good fucking food.
Here you got this little Asian lady. Yeah, she might be touching the butter with her hands, but at least it's getting cooked. But you know, she's got a mask. Everything's being clean. She's throwing away shit. Everything's properly bagged. Barely spilling a drop. Properly put away. Things are looking good. Like, I don't know what the fuck this is, but I'd eat it. Like some type of cabbage egg sandwich. Bussin'. If you want to argue, oh, Brandon, it's poor conditions, you know, that they ain't working with a lot, you know, money's tight, things are tight, you know, proper plating, proper utensils, you know, all these things cost money. And at that point, I'm like, then you don't cook, you don't sell food, you don't endanger the people around you because you want to make a quick buck selling Mimi's slaw or like, you know, this barf stew. Like literally, it's disgusting. You're endangering your friends and family. That's my whole point. If they can't afford ladles, cups, and literally anything to make this operation more sanitary, you think they're washing their fucking hands very well? You're telling me they're not wiping their ass with their hands if this is what they're fucking working with to eat? Practically nothing. It's just crazy. You got these doo-doo fingers all up in your food, all up in your drink, everywhere. And it's like, you can't, again, this is for your community. I don't get how this helps anybody besides put a little few pesos in your pocket, put a little extra dinero in your pocket, you know. I really don't understand how this is helping anybody or beneficial. Anyways, I think that's about all I got for this video. Again, I tried to make it like a little bit of a world tour type video, but you know, the examples were kind of one-sided. And again, that's not entirely my fault. I probably could have looked a little bit harder, but what are you gonna do? Anyways, thanks for watching. Sorry I'm a little stuffy. Hope you like this video. Be sure to leave a comment, like, subscribe. Thanks.
Yep, looking good. Nick and Bayash. Okay, the Spice Boys. Seriously? Right. No, Nick, I'm going to call you right now.